Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. But it's Monday, the 30th of March, 2026. Thank you for starting your week with us. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun.
And I am Samson Balogun. We are glad to have you join us as we bring you the stories and conversations shaping the day.
We begin this morning with a notable development from the presidency as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu marks his 74th birthday by reportedly donating all his salary since assuming office to a newly established Armed Forces Welfare Fund. The move raises conversations around leadership, symbolism, and support for Nigeria's military community.
All right, after that opening conversation, we'll bring you the weather report to help you plan your day, followed by Daybreak News, where we'll take you through the major national and international stories making headlines this morning.
Then it's on to newspaper headlines, where we will review the stories dominating today's front pages and enlighten key issues shaping public discourse.
Later in the program, we'll turn to our big story this morning. APC's new leadership, fresh energy or familiar faces. As the ruling party continues to evolve, questions remain about direction, continuity, and the future of leadership structure. To help us unpack this conversation, we'll be joined by Honorable Omolaja Olaoye. He's an APC chieftain and a public affairs analyst.
And as always, we wrap up with Trend Watch, tracking the conversations making waves across social and civic spaces.
Right, that will be Trend Watch. And of course, this is Daybreak Live on Dominion Television.
Right. Please stay with us. Good morning, Samson.
Good morning, Oluwayemi Adelakun. Good to be back here. It's a fresh Monday morning, and of course, the headlines are really fresh.
They're really fresh.
And of course, the people out there, they are really expecting so much this morning. But most importantly...
And it rained convention over the weekend.
Right. The APC had theirs, and then the PDP, the list of the leadership of both parties are now out. Let's see what the ADC will do. Maybe the Labour Party and NDC, or what's that party?
Exactly, NDC.
let's see what will happen with those parties too. But then, this certainly means two things for the People's Democratic Party.
Right.
It's either the way forward or the final nail that, of course, the last nail that finishes whatever it is that is happening in that party. Maybe this is the final ship of destruction that they just got into. But then let's just hope that as things unfold, we'll get, exclusives as regards what's going on in both parties as it stands. But then, Nyesom Wike has had his own fair share of national convention.
Right, so and this time it's not Amala convention.
It's not Amala convention. what should we call that in Abuja?
Really?
Then, basically, let's now talk about the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, he made some assertions. But then, before we talk about it, let's just hear the President himself say it, and then we'll be back and have this conversation.
And it's a symbol of love and commitment to the growth and unity of this country. I thank all of you. Lunch or dinner I don't have. I didn't prepare for it. But what I need to do on your behalf is to announce a special account to be created today from all the salaries that I've earned. The Accountant General to establish an account to fund those men and women who stand on the arms way, who have lost the husband and wives. Create a special funding for them. Regardless of what insurance or what the military or the armed forces might have been doing. Let's put hands together to donate especially to that account. Those who might have lost their limbs or arms or hands will be able to give them hope and a better promise for the future. Nigeria will overcome the problem of insecurity. We will invest in armament to defeat the insurgents. We will put it together with you. This type of unity I have not imagined. I thank all of you. I rejoice with you. I rejoice with myself.
All right, welcome back. That was the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, making that statement yesterday. And of course, we must say happy birthday to you, His Excellency. For that was his 74th birthday. But
Congratulations.
Then he made that bold assertion. Of course, people have asked questions about how much does he earn and what impact would that have on the lives of wives and family members of military men who lost their lives in battle. I think the most important thing is the intent. People, of course, he has tried it. If we have more people who actually joined this particular movement, I think it will do a whole lot of good. And he also mentioned that he doesn't care what the military has in stock for their personnel, or maybe the police has in stock, but then he wants another account, a trust for the account to be created for that purpose. And talking about how much he earns, the president goes home with roughly 1.2 million naira on a monthly basis. Annually, he earns about just slightly over 14 million naira annually. And the figure is statutory pay. That is basic plus regular allowances. Does not cover some other things. His basic monthly salary is 292,000 naira. But then the allowances consolidated is around 878,000 naira per month. That multiplied by 12 gives us roughly 14 million naira, or just a little over 14 million naira on a monthly basis. So on a yearly basis. So that for me is a good start. Okay, and this is not the first time. I think this is the first time that we are having the president donate openly what he earns in office to a particular cause. And this, for me, is a very good cause. Do not forget that during the 65th birthday of the First Lady, that is Senator Oluremi Tinubu, she also did something that that caught people by surprise. She said, I don't want your gifts. And I don't want your donations. What you can do for me is to contribute to a particular cause. I think that was for the completion of the National Library in Abuja. Yeah. And at that time, over 20 billion naira was raised. And eventually, it went into the excess of 25 billion naira. And I think the project is still ongoing as of now. So we have seen precedent. We have also seen precedent. Yes, you might not like this person's face. You might not really like some of his policies because it affects the microeconomy. And yes, these things do happen. But the most important thing is, I think when we take some steps, it is just normal for us to say, yes, this is a fantastic step towards a good cause.
Yeah, I think you're very spot on. And then the major problem that we have as a country in Nigeria, I think, is insecurity. Right. And of course, the people who ensure that we achieve security are these guys. And then he coming out to say that he wants to donate his entire salary. We don't know whether that will continue for as long as it stays in power.
At least till this very moment,
he's donating all. I think it is something to actually applaud, really, because I mean, it's not so many persons can do that. And then I'm hearing some Nigerians say, "Oh, it's chicken change to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu." If you calculate the amount, from when he has in office till now, it's not up to like 50 million, but then it's something. And then one thing that he did was to call out to others too. The governors, the local government chairman, his friends, even called out to his friends and well-wishers to say, you can also join this cause to ensure that, we donate to this cause. Because, I mean, at the point, I think when we won AFCON, right. I'm talking about the ladies now, when we won, the federal government announced the reward. And then a particular soldier went online and released a video to say, see the amounts they are trying to give out to these footballers, compared to what we earn as soldiers, to fight and defend the nation. And then he lamented bitterly and complained so much. Even some Nigerians were saying the money is too much for footballers. What about other persons? But at the end of the day, it was the duty of the government, and then they decided what they wanted to give to the footballers. And then speaking about the wife of president now, any donation that comes from the president or the wife, it will always lead to controversy. People are asking, is it going to be on paper alone? Are they going to pay the money into the account? I remember Peter Obi dropped a comment and then he started with, I don't know whether he started or ended with, we are finished as a country.
He started with.
Exactly. And then people are wondering, if you want to wish somebody happy birthday, don't go through corners. Just wish the person and move on. But he said that is the sole duty of the government. That why should it be that the wife of the president have to donate to that cause to ensure that a library is completed? But then she could have decided not to do it and use the money for something else. But she still came out to say, okay, let us use this money to complete the library. And then one more thing, the reason why I think it's a good initiative is because some of the soldiers, right, because of the nature of their job, their wives cannot actually go into serious business, or or maybe because
they get to migrate.
They don't stay at home, so the wives will have to stay back, to take care of the children. And of course, they go through, maybe some of them engage in all these menial jobs. They just sell little things at the house just to ensure that they are doing something. At the end of the day, we've seen cases of some of these women when their husband passed, they are left with almost nothing to take care of the children. So I think it will help this category of people. And one more thing is, there are some soldiers. The reason why I think the reason why some soldiers revolted during the era of army taking over the government is because the young officers complain bitterly about the fact that they are not getting enough. They are not living that life of luxury compared to the senior officers. So I think at this point in time, we need to make room, or let me say allocate certain amount to those junior officers too, because most times they are the ones who go out, they are the forefront of the battle. So I think it's one major thing that we should also look at. And then I think this will also solve the problem of soldiers that were maimed at the battleground. You need to check videos online. There's one particular video I watched last year. This man said he's been in that state for years, for a particular battle that they went to fight, and then he's not been able to cater for his children, his legs gone, because of. So I think I think we need to do a lot of research so that this money will not just go down the drain. Right. I think there should be a committee on ground, that we ensure and do proper research on the people that really need this money, so that we don't just, even it doesn't matter the number of donation that comes in. If we don't spend it wisely, you will not see the result. So it's a good one. Exactly. It's a good one, but we need to ensure that, we spend this money, in the right way, and it gets to the people who really needs it.
Well, I think you have made some cogent points, but then I think another problem that might just arise from all of this is the fact that there might be no continuity. It might just be for photo ops. But we've seen it happen before in Nigeria, where some decisions are made, and then if you ask that same question about 5 years later, you get almost nothing as a response. And right now, that the president has made this bold move to make sure that all these things are put in place, the advantages outweighs the disadvantages, right? Because of course he could have said nothing about it, and he also made some promises while speaking with the press, addressing the people, and said, look, we are going to invest in armament, invest in gadgets for the military, and also make sure that all things are put in place, and all hands will be on deck to make sure that we defeat the monster, which is insecurity in Nigeria. And of course, this will also help. This fund will help where government processes are really slow and things cannot be done, and then this will be an avenue for them to get things done quickly before they go. We all know that when anything that has to do with government anywhere around the world, a lot of bureaucracy you have to go through a lot of channels before some things can be done. That's why in some countries you have lobbyists who help you lobby to make sure that your files are being forwarded, and it's just sad that Nigeria has gone through this phase, and trying to rebuild seems to be more difficult than avoiding it in the first place. But as it stands, if the president can follow through, an account is created, monies are deposited in it. Even if this account, the only problem is that Nigerians might not trust them enough. Of course, because everything that has to do with the government, most people don't have interest in it anymore. But if it were to be in a system where there's transparency in the first place, an account is opened and then the account numbers are pasted, on social media, anywhere, you will see that actually average Nigerians would want to donate to that cause because they know exactly what this means. Some of them have passed through this stage before, and of course they know exactly what it means to have next to nothing to do. But the challenge now is, can we trust the government to follow through and get this thing done? It's a very big question. Let there be transparency in this process. as long as that is there, I think Nigerians will really want to key into this.
Yes, and you're very correct. And of course, as the president called out to the governors and of course the other persons, I think it's a good thing for them to also say, okay, this is what we want to contribute.
I think the president has, really been calling out these governors lately. He has even maybe set the people up against the governors to say, look, ask these people questions. You can't just bring all your problems to me, because some of these problems, they have been catered for through your governors. If any one of them has failed, it doesn't mean I have failed as a president. It means your governor has failed. So hold him responsible. Many a times these governors get away with some of the things they do. You can, at least in some states where there are largely no insecurity, they all get billions of naira as security votes. What exactly are you doing with this? And now when you ask this question, they will say security business is a private business. You don't discuss what you spend these monies on. Yes, we understand, but let it be visible. Right? We have seen states where, look at Lagos, for example, from one junction to junction, you see RRS vehicles, Rapid Response Squad. You see their vehicles from junction to junction. You know exactly that these monies are being spent on gadgets for security agencies. They have communication systems that work all around Lagos. What is happening with other states too? Why are you not investing in this matter? If you do invest in security gadgets, automatically it narrows down the problem. You know exactly where to face. But then when you have no intel, you have no gadgets, you have no vehicles, what exactly how do you want to track down criminals, if at all they spring up in your state?
Right. And speaking about security vote, I recall about a few weeks ago, there was a particular story that broke that I think, some huge amount of money was transferred to a particular person in this country, the son of IGP of this country, and then the money was taken from the security vote of that state. And then they said, oh, it's a mistake, oh, we didn't know we sent it to him, and then we'll be able to recharge the money. And Nigerians are saying,
costly mistake is that?
Even if I can't see, I'm not going to believe that story, but it depends on whether they've been able to recover it truly or not.
So the money was not mistakenly sent to a certain Habib Ahmed at Ogunpa Market in Ibadan. Right. Was not mistakenly sent to maybe Ismail Babangida in Kano, who is selling sugarcane, but was mistakenly sent to the son of an IG, sitting IG. I mean, cut us some slack.
Honestly, and was taken from the security vote that's supposed to cater for security in the country.
It all aligns. it all aligns because security votes to the son of a security operative. I mean, tell me more. I really want to hear more from you.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why I always say that if they explain Nigeria to you and you understand, it can only mean one thing. This is not your first time. You've been here before. You can help others like us to navigate.
Help us understand.
And so back to the issue of ammunition. I think a popular politician reported a few weeks ago that some soldiers fled the scene of attack because of lack of ammunition. Because when they saw what those guys were carrying, common sense told them to flee. Because at the end of the day, see, you can have the expertise, but if you don't have the necessary tools, you become, it's counterproductive at the end of the day. So these guys, they are not trained though. We don't know whether they go through any level of training.
How do you as a mechanic visit a scene where you have been told that the car has broken down and you are there? No tool, no screwdriver, no spanner, absolutely nothing. So what will you do? You become how do I put it? You will not be different from the person that owns the car that called you in the first place, because you have nothing to do there. You can't even check anything because you cannot unscrew or screw anything there. So why are you there?
Why are you there? So they fled the scene, and then the man reported that why should that happen? At a point where the people called the soldiers to come and rescue them, but they fled because of, if you see what these people carry. There was a video I watched, and then they showed us how they try to keep their guns in a way that is not so obvious.
In a tank.
Exactly, in a car tank. So it's really a big problem. And then I think investing in ammunition for these soldiers will go a long way to ensure that they can match up in terms of, in terms of maybe strength, in terms of ammunition. So at the end of the day, they can be able to get some result. Because, I mean, if you see what these people carry, let's not depend, solely. There was one time that, when the new defense minister was being screened, he said, we need drones, and then it costs a lot to even get one, compared to getting a lot for the entire country. So I think investment in ammunition is a big one, and of course it's going to go a long way in ensuring that we tackle insecurity, because we need to match up. Beyond expertise, we need the ammunition too, honestly. I think at a point, if they discover that, okay, these people have actually been able to scale up in terms of their ammunition, they want to drop back a little bit to see it appears that these people are doing something different compared to before.
Well, if anything the president said is is to go by. They made some promises that they are going to invest in armaments, tools for the Nigerian military, drones, guns, to make sure that everything is intact and they can confidently face insurgency in the country.
Right.
And I think if that is to go by, I think, well, succor is coming for the Nigerian military, and they will be able to discharge their duties as necessary. And as important as it is, we should not also shy away from pressing them each time some of they get things done in the bushes and all. You know, oftentimes we talk about how many people have died. We are not really talking about times when they have actually won this battle against the insurgency. There used to be a time where Baga, the fish market in Borno State, the Boko Haram flag was hoisted there. And right now, businesses are being done in that part of the country. So we should also praise them for doing the right thing each time they do it, and then implore the government to get them what is necessary, the needed tools to get the job done.
Right, and imagine Borno used to be the hotspot of terrorism compared to Kwara, that was peaceful at the time. You see,
some people, there will be a different theory for places like Kwara. And, you know, according to what you hear from people, is each time there is some sort of attack on a particular community, in places that are usually of less hotspots when it comes to insecurity in the country, then you ask questions, what exactly is in that community?
That they are after.
That they are after. Is it natural resources? Most of the times if you check, there will be natural resources usually deposited. And you won't come back to your community when you know that death awaits you. Definitely you are
people
going to
already fleeing Kwara. They are leaving.
You leave. And then they are there, they do their daily businesses, you know, get these resources and then take them away in trucks and the likes.
But what about people who cannot leave Kwara? It doesn't, their whole life, their entire life is here. Their means of livelihood is in Kwara. So if they leave, they have nowhere to go.
Yeah, hear me? What is the essence of that life you have there that you will not live to see the next morning?
It's
right?
A lot.
So the most important thing is, even if you are fighting for a particular goal, okay, stay alive to witness how you achieve it. As long as you are still alive, a lot can be done. But if you are no longer there, I mean, what do you say about people, even if normalcy returns to that part of the country? So what will you say about people who actually lost their lives to this cause, who were there and then they were attacked unannounced and they lost their lives?
Even
what happened to them?
Exactly. What happens to them?
And some people will not just go back to that place
because
again.
Of fear, because of what they went through.
The trauma is still there. So let's just hope that the government does what is necessary. If insurgency now begins to percolate down to the southwest, then there is a problem. So it should be, at least the most important thing to be done in the first place is to stop it where it is, contain it, then solve the problem.
And prepare for future attack, because there's one thing about Kwara. They've attacked Kwara severally. That's one thing they do. When they have interest in a particular state, they don't stop with just one attack. They go back. They will even send letter, you know, in some cases.
What you are witnessing in Kwara happened in Benue. Okay, it started with just one attack, and then another, until the people were tired and some of them had to flee their homes and communities. And that same thing is happening in Kwara. So what exactly is the problem? Why do we have these attacks and then these people leave their communities and nobody is saying anything about it? Don't forget that it also happened in Plateau. It started with just one attack and then one after the other. Niger too. The same thing with that. There's a place in Kaduna too. It started with just one attack and then all of a sudden it became, you know, a sporadic kind of thing that happens often and often. So the problem is these communities that are being attacked. What exactly is the problem there? But it's a fantastic point to leave that topic this morning. And let's take weather report and help you plan your day. All right, I'll be starting with the ancient metropolitan city of hospitality, Ibadan, this morning. What does the weather look like in Ibadan as we speak? In Ibadan Southwest, or your state, weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius right now. And later in the morning, it will rise by 6 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. It will be partly cloudy. Humidity will be around 1%. And by afternoon, it rises further to 34 degrees Celsius. Remaining, of course, it will be mostly cloudy. Humidity climbing to 6%. And by evening, it drops to 27 degrees Celsius. It will be partly cloudy just like in the morning. And, of course, humidity drops back to 1%. Overnight, it drops to 25 degrees Celsius, remaining cloudy, and of course, humidity climbs at to 9% right there in Ibadan today.
And from Ibadan, we cross to Osogbo this morning, where the feels like 23 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 1%. In the afternoon, we have 34 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 24%. And in the evening, it drops to 27 degrees Celsius, few showers around 32%. And there's a bit more severe. To think that, there was a particular rainfall in Osogbo very recent, and it destroyed a lot,
properties.
honestly. And then overnight we have 24%, degrees Celsius, cloudy around 11%, and that's what we have for Osun this morning.
All right, from the state of Osun, we move to the center of excellence, and that is Lagos this morning. Weather in Lagos is currently fair, and it will be at an average of 26 degrees Celsius for the day. But right now, it is at 29 degrees Celsius, and it rises by just a degree to 30 degrees Celsius later in the morning, being partly cloudy with humidity at 1%. And in the afternoon, it rises further to 32 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny, humidity at 2%. It drops to 29 degrees Celsius in the evening, partly cloudy and zero chance of humidity. And overnight, it will be at 27 degrees Celsius, cloudy with humidity climbing to 8% right there in Lagos today.
All right, from Lagos, we cross to Ilorin, East Kwara, and weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius in the morning, and later in the morning is expected to be around 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. In the afternoon, we have 36 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 24%. And in the evening, we have 28 degrees Celsius, showers around 50%. I'm not sure Ilorin can escape rain today. And overnight, we have 25 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 4%. And that's where we are for Ilorin this morning.
All right, away from Ilorin, we'll go straight to the south, and that is Port Harcourt, River State today. As we speak, in Rivers, weather is currently at 22 degrees Celsius. Of course, later in the morning, showers are expected in later in the morning at 27 degrees Celsius, and humidity rising to 40%. There will be scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon, with weather rising to 29 degrees Celsius, humidity at 46%. It will be mostly cloudy in the evening, and of course, weather drops to 23 degrees Celsius, humidity dropping to 2%. And overnight, it returns back to 22 degrees Celsius, just like in the morning. It will be cloudy with humidity climbing to 10% right there in Port Harcourt, River State today.
And from Port Harcourt, we cross to FCT Abuja, and weather this morning feels like 25 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to be around 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. And in the afternoon, we have 34 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 17%. In the evening, we have 27 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 24%. And overnight, we have 24 degrees Celsius, showers around 35%, and that's what we have for FCT this morning.
All right, moving on from the FCT, we still remain in the North Central, and that is the largest state in Nigeria, Suleja, Niger State. As it stands, weather is currently partly cloudy in Suleja at 25 degrees Celsius. It rises by 6 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius, remaining partly cloudy later in the morning with zero chance of humidity. And it rises further to 35 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. It will be mostly cloudy with humidity at 2%. In the evening, it drops to 28 degrees Celsius, cloudy, humidity climbing to 24 degrees Celsius. And of course, few showers expected overnight, and the weather drops to 24 degrees Celsius with humidity rising to 32% in Suleja, Niger State today.
And from Suleja, we cross to Maiduguri, Borno State. Weather this morning feels like 31 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to be around 36 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0%, and in the afternoon we have 39 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0% as well. And in the evening we have 32 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%, and overnight we have 29 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 0%, and that's what we have for Maiduguri this morning.
All right, I think it's a convenient place to leave a weather report this morning. We say thank you for joining us on the show so far. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our website at www.dominion.org.ng, dominion.org. Do well to drop your comments on all our social media links. Of course, we'll take them on this show. It is time to go on a quick break. When we return, it will be time for Daybreak News. We'll be back.
Hello and welcome. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television, Ibadan. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. Troops of Operation Adinkai have intercepted a vehicle loaded with suspected illegally supplied fuel in Karasuwa local government area of Yobe State. The operation followed credible intelligence on illegal fuel activities in the area. During a night patrol along the Karasuwa-Jajiri road, soldiers intercepted the vehicle, but the driver fled on sight in the troops. A search revealed 34 jerry cans of premium motor spirit, estimated at about 850 liters. The recovered fuel is now in military custody, while efforts are ongoing to identify those involved and arrest the fleeing suspect. Former Kano State Governor and 2023 presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has resigned from the party. Kwankwaso announced his resignation in a statement citing the need for what he described as a strategic realignment of his political approach. He thanked the NNPP for the opportunity to serve as a national leader and presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, noting that the decision was difficult. Kwankwaso said Nigeria's current political direction requires alignment with a platform better positioned to drive national change. The Oyo State government has intensified effort to restore environmental sanitation across Ibadan. Commissioner of Environment Ademola Derito led an inspection of refuse evacuation along major roads, including Iwo Road. He blamed indiscriminate waste disposal for flooding and environmental hazards. The government said the cleanup exercise will continue, urging residents to comply with sanitation laws. The Ekiti state government has unveiled a plan to raise 10 million cocoa seedlings over the next 10 years. Commissioner for Agriculture Ebenezer Buluwadi said the initiative aims to revive cocoa production and replace aging plantations. He noted that the program will be implemented in partnership with the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria and the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. The government also mentioned that the plan will promote sustainable and ethical cocoa production. In business this morning, United Nigeria Airlines has confirmed that one of its aircraft was damaged in a ground incident at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The airline said the incident was caused by a jet blast from a nearby aircraft at the domestic terminal. The affected aircraft, an Embraer 190, had arrived from Akano Ibiam International Airport and was preparing for another flight when the incident occurred. United Nigeria Airlines explained the multiple aircraft movement within the ramp area led to the jet blast. No casualties were reported while investigations into the incident are ongoing. And in sport this morning, Nigeria's Samson Adamu has been appointed acting General Secretary of the Confederation of African Football, CAF. It replaces Veron Mosengo Amba of DR Congo, who stepped down to contest the presidency of the country's football federation, FECOFA. Adamu, who currently serves as CAF's Director of Competitions, is widely regarded within the organization for his administrative experience. He's the son of former FIFA Executive Committee member Dr. Amos Adamu. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cars. And that ends Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. This morning we have quite a number of headlines to talk about. Over the weekend, it rained convention across the country, and of course, birthday celebration of the president, GCFR, and of course, a lot of persons wished him well. And then he did something tangible, spectacular yesterday, and that's why we're starting with the Nation paper this morning with the banner headline that says Tinubu, why my celebration is subdued. And then he came out yesterday to say, okay, I decided to have a low-key birthday, because of the tension in the country, coupled with, what's going on in the Middle East that is affecting the price of fuel. And that's why I decided to celebrate low-key. And then he spoke to the people, the press, people were there, and they said, I'm going to be donating my salary, from the point of, appointment, not appointment now, from when he assumed office. I'm going to be donating that salary, and then to now to the army, to those who lost their lives, and of course, to cater, for those who were maimed, for one reason or the other. So he said, I'm going to be donating my salary to them, and of course, a lot of Nigerians, applauded him for doing that. They celebrated him. Why some Nigerians, are saying, no, how sure are we that money will be paid into the account, and it's not just going to be on paper alone. And then the president also called for his friends, he called on the governors, and of course the well-wishers to also do the same, by donating to this cause, to see that the soldiers, they get enough money to cater for themselves, especially for those who passed, and then there are families who are struggling to make ends meet. And I think it's commendable coming from the president, but then do not forget that this is Nigeria. Any donation coming from the presidency or from the ruling party, people will always ask questions. And I think it's a fine place to leave that discussion as we turn to Nigerian Tribune this morning. And I have this headline that says, Lamido Saraki McCarthy Moro attend Abuja PDP convention. I said earlier that the Rain convention over the weekend, and of course there was the PDP convention. Dan Kwambo, Natasha, others in attendance. Don't forget, when we had the Ibadan convention with the what's his name now, the Turaki faction, and of course the Makinde faction, when they had that convention in Ibadan, a lot of persons were looking out for Natasha, whether she was going to attend or not, but she did not show up at the Ibadan convention. But she showed up, for this particular convention in Abuja, that happened as a result of the Wike faction. And of course, Makinde Bala, Oyinlola, George, Arapaja, stay away. They didn't show up. Of course, it was expected, that they would not attend the convention, especially, because they are still in the mood of reconciliation, to see that they trash, certain things out. And of course, INEC's attendance proved PDP is alive. Don't forget, there was a disparity on whether INEC was going to attend the Ibadan convention or not. At the end of the day, they didn't attend, and then they said, okay, that convention is null and void because INEC was not in attendance, but then they attended this particular convention in Abuja. So we saying, or is INEC saying, or is PDP saying that, now that INEC attended, it makes the convention solid compared to the Ibadan convention. And of course, return mandate, Wike tells governors, other PDP defectors. I listened to Wike while he was giving us address, and then he spoke about Peter Obi. He said he's a serial defector, that why did he move away from the Labour Party when they were going through the crisis? And he mentioned something very cogent that I think a lot of persons might have issues with. He said for somebody that could not resolve the crisis in Labour Party, I'll show our Nigerians that he's going to be able to do anything tangible if he becomes president. And he also made mention of the governors, the PDP governors who left, at the point of crisis to other parties. And then he said, they are not true statements, that why should they leave, where the party was going through a lot. But then, however, good luck to the People's Democratic Party even after this whole convention. We do hope that, they'll be able to resolve whatever it is that is going on, amongst the factions. And then from that headline, let's also check this one that says, poultry farmers lament egg scarcity, price hike over chicks shortage. And then from that hand, we move to this headline that says, Tinubu unveils fund for fallen wounded troops donate as salaries. And of course, I mentioned that is commendable. We just hope that, they will follow that to the letter. Away from that headline, I have this one that says, Obi Kwakwanso to battle Atiku for ADC ticket. Ex-Kano governor resigns from NNPP, joins ADC today. Mark-led party denies running mate slot concession to him. So a lot of controversies, going on concerning Kwankwanso's defection to the ADC, that's the coalition party. And of course, I listened to Fayose over the weekend, and he said something about this defection of Kwankwanso. He said it's game over for Peter Obi, that he might not get the ticket in ADC because Kwankwanso, defected to the ADC. But never said ever. I think it's up to the ADC to decide, who they want to give the ticket to, who is going to win the primaries and get the ticket to become the flag bearer of the presidential election. But then there's something to look to actually talk about. Some persons are saying, are we going to have a Kwankwaso B ticket? And then if we have that, who is going to be the vice? Who is going to be the president in terms of contesting that election? So good luck to the ADC on that one. And then we cross from Nigerian Tribune to Vanguard newspaper this morning. And I have this headline that says, Atiku Rebadu B. Ameche led dignitaries to burial of El-Rufai's mother as Northern Governor Kano Emir Mon. Yes, over the weekend we saw that, El-Rufai was released from the custody, of the police because, he had to go bury his mother. And of course, that release is, a temporary one. It's not a permanent one. They might still call him after the burial, after he's done, burying his mother, to still come out and explain, or maybe, just, talk about quite a number of things. So then he gained the sympathy of Nigerians, over the weekend, especially, with videos of him and his mother circulating online. The mother is quite hurt looking at the pictures and the videos that I have seen myself. And of course, condolences to El-Rufai, the entire family, on the loss of their mother. And of course, apart from him, I even saw pictures online of members of the ruling party who visited El-Rufai, like the chairman of APC, that's, Yiwatda. He visited, El-Rufai to, pay condolence, to him, on the death of his mother. And of course, if you check that picture online, I wish I could, blast the picture now so that you can see. It speaks volume to say that, okay, why, people are asking, did he just go there to, mourn with him for the death of his mother, or are there other underlying reasons why he went there? But at the end of the day, he said he went there to condole with him, so maybe we should believe that. And away from that line, let's also check this one that says PDP convention, Wike to defectors. We've taken back PDP, and that's coming from Wike. We must resist one-party rule, Benga Ashim insists. I don't really see Nigeria, tilted towards a one-party system. Yes, the opposition parties are quite weak, but then I don't think we are going to arrive at that situation, to say that, okay, we'll just have one party, because at the end of the day, it's not democratic in any way. Why should people, be forced to vote for one person because they don't have other candidates to vote for? It's something that we should resist, by all means. And of course, we also have this headline that says Palm Sunday. Khan urges leaders to eat hardship. Yesterday was Palm Sunday across, across the world, not just Nigeria alone, and even as Christians prepare for Easter Sunday. And of course, the leader, the Khan leader, is coming out to say that, okay, let's ensure that, whatever it is we can do to ease hardship on the people, then we should be on it. And away from that headline, let's cross to this headline that says, 2027, our Kwankwanso's defection to ADC, we should pose, we really, I don't know, this defection of Kwankwanso, will it, determine a lot? Can it change certain things? I think it's up to the ADC to determine how they can play this game better. And away from that headline, I have this one that also says bank recapitalization raises 4.6 trillion naira. Sparse sectoral battle for allocation. Shareholder expert delayed returns, urge cautious. Real sector focus debt. And of course, CPPE wants banks to channel funds to SMEs, real sector to drive economic impact. Quite a number of things to do there, reforms here and there. I just want to believe that at the end of the day, it's going to better the lives of Nigerians and, of course, investors across the nation. I have this headline that says, at 74, nation's mood forced me to have a low-key birthday, and that's coming from the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's cross to Daily Sun this morning. I have this headline that says, APC governors consolidate grip on party machinery. Party may settle for consensus arrangement at next month's primary. So a lot of persons are looking forward to the primaries of the APC to see that everything will go well. But then at the end of the day, that party is now a large party compared to how they were after the whole election result. Is now large. A lot of persons have defected to the party, and of course the president might need to do a lot to keep that party in check. Away from that headline, I also have this one that says PDP Abdurrahman Anyanwu others retain offices as Wike bloc holds convention amid legal batches. So Abdurrahman remains the party chairman of that Wike faction, while Anyanwu remains the national secretary of the party as well. But there were quite a number of things, a lot of changes here and there. But then the party chairman, the national secretary, and quite a number of other persons, they retain their position in the party. Another headline is saying Palm Sunday contacts leaders on empathy, economic relief, urges Nigerians not to lose hope. So from Daily Sun this morning, we cross to New Telegraph and see what's going on. We have a line that says, birthday, Tinubu orders dedicated account for wounded dead soldiers. And away from that, we also have this one that says 2027 will recover a mandate from defected PDP governors. And that's coming from Wike. I think, just like I said, I listened to Wike over the weekend, and he said some of these governors, they won their elections under the People's Democratic Party. The party sponsored their elections and ensured that they won. And then after that, they decided to defect to the ruling party, without minding, the amount that the party, spent to ensure that they won the election. And I think it's not just for the PDP alone. It has happened to the Labour Party. It's going to happen to the APC too, whether you like it or not. It's going to happen to even to the ADC, even ABGA. People have left. So for a political party, people will always leave. And that's one thing that, politicians, they forget easily, that politics is about interest. It's about alignment. Look at Kwankwaso now. He left NNPP, for the ADC. And according to him, he left because he wants to realign, based on his interests for the next election. He said it's best to position in a party where it's obvious that his interests, are going to materialize than to stay in a political party that, might not really offer him anything tangible. And don't forget, even before his defection, he's been having issues, with the big shot of the NNPP. Before he even defected to the ADC, he's been having issues with that party. So maybe the issues contributed to the reasons why he left. Maybe it was obvious that he might not be given the ticket, the same way he was given in 2022 to become the flag bearer of the party. Maybe that's why he left the party. And of course, don't forget that with the new electoral act, if you don't leave before the primaries, I don't think it will be possible for you to leave again because of the new electoral act that is guiding the primaries and, of course, the general elections. And from that headline, also taking headlines from Daily Sun this morning. I beg your pardon, from New Telegraph. I see have this headline that says, full report, our rivers under bars spent 302 billion naira in 6 months. Don't forget, when the Ofibara Wiki saga started, it was suspended, and then Ibas came in, and then, of course, it was the one in charge. And then at a point, I recall that the Senate called, for Ibas to come and talk about, how he spent, a certain amount of money while he was, in charge of a river state. And then I recall that he also responded that the president appointed me. You have no right to say I should come and show up and start explaining to you how I did quite a number of things. So he didn't show up, when he was invited by the Senate. So now that this headline is coming back, to the public, I don't know whether he's going to show up this time to explain 302 billion naira, how we spent that amount in 6 months. Now, Fubara is back in office, and then he's been doing quite a lot in terms of appointing this and that. I recall that even recently, some persons were screened, by the Rivers State House of Assembly, for certain positions. Good luck to the people of Rivers State. But then 302 billion naira is a lot of money that should be discussed. And away from that headline, let's cross to another paper this morning, which is Daily Trust. And I have just one headline, and then it's saying 2027 Kwakansu Atiku Obi join forces against Tinubu. That's talking about the coalition party. Now we have a lot of big shot in the ADC, and then whether you like it or not, the party is also expanding. People who are defecting to the ADC as well, and there will be more defection to the coalition party. But this is my concern. ADC, do you think they have what it takes to actually, change the dynamics of the 2027 elections, like, what, APC did in 2015, and when we had, CPC, we had, ACN, they came together to form the APC and then kicked out PDP, out of office. Good luck to the ruling party and, of course, to the opposition parties as well. Let's cross to the Punch newspaper this morning. And I have the banner headline that says PDP convention, Wike block installs new NWC in Abuja. FCT Minister Bauchi Governor Saraki Ipiazu urged reconciliation, unity amid internal party tensions. These people that I mentioned, obviously they were not going to be at the convention. I'm talking about, Bauchi State Governor Sheyi Makinde and quite a number of other persons, who do not, believe in the Wike faction. But then reconciliation is ongoing as we speak, and then I think they should be able to conclude, before, the timeline that INEC gave, is going to elapse, because I mean they need to decide, because of that. And away from that headline, let's check this one that says Tinubu at 74, President donates salaries to wounded soldiers and families. 2027, Kwakwanso joint ADC sparks Obi alliance talk. And away from that headline, we also have this one that says political titans Dangote attend Erify murders barrier. Exactly, a lot of persons attended, that barrier to just, mourn alongside the governor and, of course, his entire family. And then I think there was the particular story that I read that, the mother died in Egypt, that even, for a while now, he's been living with his mother in Egypt, and, of course, she died in Egypt. And then recently, they had to make room to bring the body back to Nigeria to just bury, the mother in Nigeria. This headline is saying U.S. cuts Nigerian crude import by nearly 50%. A lot is going on, and of course, Nigerians are, feeling the impact of that. We cross to The Guardian this morning, which is the final paper, and I have this banner headline that says ADC searches for consensus as PDP scout for presidential candidate. And of course, we still cannot tell. It's not obvious yet who is going to be the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party. And then, of course, ADC settles for consensus. They're trying to, align with the best person, because when it comes to elections, it's about alliance. It's about, getting it right. It's about being in the right party. And of course, ADC is trying to do their best to bring in the people that they need that can help them, in the next elections. I have this headline also that says Palm Sunday, Pope sues for global peace as CAN seeks relief for Nigerians. And of course, Nigeria is at the center when it comes to, insecurity and quite a number of things. So people will always talk about Nigeria. And then the funny thing is, even people outside of Nigeria, people in the Middle East, in Asia, in America, South America, North America, it appears that some of them even know more. They know a lot about what is going on in Nigeria compared to other Nigerians, because these people, they want to know, especially after the U.S. president referred to Nigeria as a country of particular concern. I think it puts us on the global map in a way. It's not in a good way, really, because he talked about a lot of things, genocide here and there, and that the presidency denied it, to say there's nothing like genocide. Christians, Muslims, even traditionalists are being killed on a daily basis. So it's not just about the Christians alone. Away from that headline, I also have this one that says Serap flees Ibas over alleged 302 billion naira FAC expenditure in Rivers. I spoke about that at the time he was summoned, but he didn't show up. I don't know whether he's going to show up at this time to talk about this huge amount of money. Another headline this morning is saying Senate leader says National Assembly on track towards state police creation. I think a lot of persons have been calling for a state police for a while now, to say let us establish this. It's going to help us. It's going to go a long way to solve insecurity in the country. And of course, we do believe that the Senate is on top of the matter to ensure that we achieve this. And away from that headline, I also have this one that says terrorists are not prodigal sons, says Bishop as Chief of Army Staff orders relentless onslaught. I think there's a bit of disparity. I watched a video over the weekend while, a popular, army officer, a city officer, said that, these terrorists, they are our brothers. Regardless what they have done, regardless the people they have killed, they should be given another chance. Nigerians flared up. You need to see comment online, especially Twitter, to say, why should we refer to these people as our brothers, after everything they have done, after, the people they have killed, So it's a lot to talk about. It appears that, some Nigerians are still on the side of, let's give these people another chance. Why some are saying, okay, let's not give him another chance. Let's just end this once and for all. And the final headline this morning is saying ASU lost 5 of 10 years to strikes, and that's coming from federal government. And I always, talk about this whole ASU thing, that even the students that are in school now, especially federal universities, they are enjoying compared to people, who were in school in the last 5-10 years. They went through, intense ASU strike, but the government is trying a lot to ensure that, these students do not experience, ASU strike again. But at this point,
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Right, good morning and welcome to The Big Story on Dominion Television. Of course, the show is Daybreak Live. Nigeria's political landscape is once again in motion as the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, unveils a new set of leaders following its national convention. But beyond the applause and party unity rhetoric, questions are already emerging. Are these truly new ends with fresh ideas or reshuffling of familiar faces within the same power structure? At a time when Nigeria are grappling with economic pressure, governance expectations, and growing political consciousness ahead of 2027, leadership within major parties is no longer just an internal affair. It is a matter of national consequence. Samson Balogun is my name, and thank you for joining us. So, the emergence of a new leadership within the APC is not just about party administration. It is a signal of direction, intent, and political strategy as the country gradually tilts towards the next electoral cycle. So, for the APC, this moment presents both an opportunity and a test. An opportunity to inject new energy, rebuild public confidence, and reposition itself as a party capable of responding to yearnings of Nigerians. But also a test of sincerity, whether this transition represents genuine reform or simply continuity dressed in new garments. Leadership within a ruling party like the APC plays a critical role in shaping governance outcomes, from policy alignment to internal discipline, candidate selection, and conflict management. The tone set at the top often defines how effectively the government connects with the people. And beyond the APC, the opposition is also recalibrating. The recent convention of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja signals that the race towards 2027 is quietly gathering momentum, both major parties reorganizing. Nigerians are left to assess not just personalities, but the ideas, capacity, and credibility behind them. So, what are we really seeing? Renewal of political vision or recycling of influence? That's a very big question. So what does this mean for governance, accountability, and the democratic choices available to Nigerians? And ultimately, as both APC and PDP reset their internal structures, what direction is Nigeria's politics taking? That is what we are to discuss this morning on The Big Story on Dominion Television. I have with me in the studio Honorable Mola Jaulawi, with whom we'll be making sense of the recent turn of events in the political arena in Nigeria. The APC, the PDP, recalibrating, reshuffling. New leaders. Is it fresh ideas or the same old set of people still there to take decisions on behalf of party members and, of course, Nigerians at large? Because at the end of the day, they will take decisions that affect the Nigerian people. Thank you for joining us. Honorable Omola Jaulawi, good to have you in the studio.
Oh, thank you for having me, Samson. I'm very delighted to be here. And for you at home who are watching us, I can say thank you very much.
Let's start from the very beginning. Your party just concluded the national convention. And some say it wasn't all rosy with your party, that there are some discussions still to be had after the convention. Something like some people were tear-gassed at the venue of the national convention. Is it to say that all is not rosy with your political party as it stands? Or maybe the convention is just for the optics?
It depends on the way you look at it, but I'll tell you that spring tear gases, it is not a new thing when you are talking about convergence of a lot of people in an arena. We are talking about 8,000 delegates that are going to be there. Apart from that 8,000 delegates, you are talking about team supporters of different candidates coming to that ground. If you see the atmosphere and the friendliness, you are going to know that it's not cosmetic. This is a genuine convention we had. And when you are talking about tear gassing, it happened the last convention we had, when you are talking about Imo delegates, when they are fighting for a slot, you see, You saw what happened. And this is not peculiar because they knew they don't deserve to be in PDP office and they were attacking tear gas as well. That is not a new thing. And in that kind of atmosphere, if you are there, you are going to see the rivalry among the same people from the same constituencies. It is not from different constituencies. You can talk about some candidates. They are going to be dancing. There is going to be music. They are going to be singing. They are going to be so happy everywhere. But by the time they are doing that, there can be, when the atmosphere becomes tense, those kind of things can happen in order to display, not to cause a commotion. Thank God, no life was lost on the convention ground. You have not seen anybody fighting with machetes. We have seen what happened in PDP, whereby a big man is being caned or is being beaten in the front of the camera when the world are looking. So that kind of thing doesn't happen in APC convention of 2026 that we have some few days ago. So I thank God for that.
So basically, this is the material of where some of your party members who came for the convention were tear gassed and they had to run for their lives. At this point, they were getting settled. But then, should we say that there were a little bit of arrangement skirmishes, things that really should have been taken care of that wasn't taken care of, that made all this, to happen?
I told you, tear gas, being what it is, some people use tear gas, some people use water cannon, but in this instance, no bullets were used. And what I'm saying to you is that you see a lot of clashes between different candidates from the same constituencies. By the time they are dancing, they are doing music, they are going to be displaying all this kind of thing. Probably that is what happened. It has nothing to do with, you can see, nobody is beating each other. You can see all these people, they are very, they are very okay. They are well-to-do people. They are decent people. You can see that.
But they are clutching their noses.
They have to. In order to avoid chaotic environment. You don't want, if we see some people being drenched in blood right now, it is different from that. It is just a way of checking a kind of a chaotic environment.
So, you have unveiled a new set of leaders.
Yes.
Would you say this is a true shift in the direction or simply continuity under a different name?
In this sense, we have seen that the chairman has never been in the ESCO system before, and despite the fact that he's a candidate, he has sacrificed to become the chairman of the political party. So now, somebody has to be there, even if it's you, if it's me, if it's anybody. So there shouldn't be any controversy about it. And what we expected now is the man to get in the office, and you can see the difference in the atmosphere. That's what they do. This belongs definitely to a candidate. And rival candidate, because they know each other, they might be dancing and they are, because of the agitation of the being happy or being so, it can cause an intense atmosphere. And it can cause...
This is the supporters of Bola Oyebamiji of Osun State.
You see that? I'm just saying, it is an example of how the convention ground always look upon.
So what is exactly new about the new set of ESCOs?
It is not about what is new, that the consciousness...
Only 3 of them were dropped.
Yes, that's
it's not exactly new. They are still the same set of people.
No.
Are they bringing fresh ideas?
They will definitely bring fresh ideas, I'm telling you. Even if 3 of them are dropped, yes, they are going to bring fresh, different ideas. Because, that is what they are always saying. There is no commotion, there is no problem in APC right now. We have a control and a well-designed system that is going on for us. Nobody is fighting. Nobody is criticizing them among the ESCOs. So for that, we knew we are heading to the right direction. So
how much influence does the presidency, especially President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have in shaping the party's leadership structure?
He talks about it on the convention ground. And he has jailed some people who are just having an appointment and they are not being so obvious in the schemes of things. For you to know that his idea is going to be these things. He talks about electricity. He knew what Nigeria wanted. He knew electricity, it is not going to be only federal government problem. That is why, for you to know that he has exonerated Chimbayo Adelabu. The electricity system is so cumbersome. You are talking, it is always change of event.
Shouldn't you walk away if you have failed at a responsibility given to you?
It is not about walking away, it's about finding solution to the problem. Electricity in Nigeria, people that are always being given that chance to earn are always the best brain in Nigeria.
For how long?
It is not about for how long. I'm just saying this to you. You are talking about Bolagi, he's the best brain. You are talking about Fashola, he's the best brain. You are talking about all of it is not about failure, it's about building on something.
Are you justifying his failure now?
Why am I justifying his failure? When the discourse were claiming 6 trillion and the reconciliation, you know, the Bayo Adelabu was an accountancy system, it's so cumbersome. It's just like an NPC. Apart from that one, he gave the matching order to IDEC in that we are having right now. Do you know how much federal government are going to be generating?
Now,
that we are having right now. Do you know how much federal government are going to be generating?
Now, basically, we just diverted a little bit to talk about
I'm just telling you.
Just because you mentioned it.
No, I'm just saying.
You mentioned that as an account.
President Tinubu.
Mentioned it. And you saw that as an exoneration for Bayo Adelabu.
It's an exoneration of
You said he's an accountant.
Yes.
Meaning that he has no prior knowledge of what he was walking into. Should he have taken that responsibility in the first place?
Chibolagi, he was a lawyer. Fashola was a lawyer. Why would you say, because of their profession?
Fashola was Minister of Power. He failed.
I'm not going to tell you he failed. I'm just telling you that.
Because he's a member of your party.
No.
Would you have said the same for another member of another political party?
It is not. It's only Pat Energy wasn't a member of APC. He wasn't a member of ACN. He wasn't. He was part of PDP, and he was the best man. He was the one that found out that when about thousands of staff were in an encoder, and they don't even know how to having a screwdriver. For you to know that how the corruption, that's alone, and they drawn billions from federal government.
We'll talk more about him and how he failed as a minister of
He
power.
never failed. He never know the reconciliation of the country alone.
His contribution is that there's no power across the country.
There is problem generally, and there is problem everywhere.
And what is his role as a minister?
For you to know that, when you are talking about an energy, what does Trump targeted? When you are talking about the fight with Iran, what did Iran targeted in Israel?
So
when you are talking about
targeting Nigeria's power?
We are talking about energy because they knew that.
Who is targeting the Nigerian energy sector?
They are not the saboteurs.
Who are the saboteurs?
Like you and me, they can disgrace in any form.
So you are also a saboteur.
No, I'm just saying,
you are sabotaging your principal's job.
People that steal the cable, people that doesn't pay their electricity bill, because in England you cannot own penny. If you own, you are going to be taken to court, and you are going to be charged, and you are going to be penalized. But in Nigeria, everybody bypass. A lot of people bypass. A lot of people didn't pay their bills.
We'll talk about Bayo Adelabu some other time.
Okay.
We'll talk about Bayo.
I will ready for you anytime. I will ready for you anytime.
Then I want to put it to you this morning that as Minister of Power, I don't want to talk about some other things he's done as a Deputy Governor CBN and some other places he has handled. But then, as a Minister of Power in Nigeria, the question still remains, did he fail or not? And if you are not going to answer a yes or no, we'll come back to that. Now, the current leadership of the APC, do you think they will be capable to manage internal tensions?
They are doing it right now, and it's being managed. Because we are talking about politics, and politics is about interest. Everybody individually interest, and it's going to clash one way or the other. So, but for them to be managing, you can see, PDP is getting settled as well, despite the fact that there are a lot of court cases. But when you are talking about APC, it's been curtailed.
You can now make that statement that the PDP is being settled right now because your crony is in charge of the party, Nyesom Wike. He wines and dines with the APC. So does it mean that the APC now has PDP in his pocket?
I wouldn't say that. Like Wike is always calling for unity all the time. Wike is always calling for dialogue. Wike is calling people to build the party together. You have seen what somebody like former Governor Jigawa, now the Amala Convention chairman said about PDP. They are trying to reconstruct and build the bridges. That is what politics is all about. It is not only Ashwadi Bola Ahmed.
President Hashim Shetima my darling wife, Oluremi Tinubu, Mrs. Shetima, Senate President, House of Representatives, the elders of our past friends, the fourth elective national convention of our party is not merely a gathering. It is the defining chapter in the story of our democracy and our party. As a part, this convention offers us the platform to renew our bond, strengthen our resolve, and recommit ourselves to the ideas that brought us together in the first place. We gather under an inspiring and powerful.
All right, welcome back. That was the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, right there. And he had some things to say and some admissions too. And that is that he knows that the nation is faced with challenges politically and in terms of governance. Honorable Mola Jaulawi, your party is still in power.
Yes,
and that is running to 12 years now in office. PDP did 16 years. And over the time, what they were saying was that they know that the nation is being faced by various challenges, but none of that was solved until they left office and your party took over. Now, your party is running to 12 years in office now. And we have continued to hear the same thing. We know there is a problem. We are working to solve it. Should Nigerians expect anything different in the next 12 to 18 months?
Thank you, Samson. That is why sometimes when you go out of your cell or you go out of your confinement, you are going to see a lot of things that happen. I'm very delighted to have been to Abuja, and despite the fact that I don't have privilege to go by here, I went on road, and I was so delighted. Why? Because I've been going to Abuja since 2000, 2001. I've seen the deplorable situation of roads that you are going to see in Abuja. But now, why did somebody like former governor of Boyin State, now Minister of Works, terminated some contracts, all the contracts from Abuja to Lokoja? Just because a lot of them are not working at all. If you now go to Abuja, you are going to see a lot of development that are going. That is what I see. It cut across the country, all the part of the country. You are talking about the road that can last for about 50 years. When you get to a place like United Kingdom, a lot of roads are not built within 50, 30 years ago. Some have been built more than 100 years. All they have to do is maintaining them. Now, a lot of development is going on in Nigeria because the money we now have, we can be able to invest it in other things, which is particular about roads. Not about roads. That is why I told you the kind of responsibility given to Chief Bayo Adelabu is so enormous. On the convention grant, it talks about electricity because he knew it touches many lives. Bayo Adelabu, it is not the governor, it is not the minister of your state, it is minister of Nigeria. And for you to know that he knew, this president knew what is affecting Nigeria and is working assiduously towards it. 3 years is not going to fix it. Even he is going to make a very good contribution, and I mean, a lot of impact. 8 years is not even enough. I'm not saying that it should continue, but whatever foundation he laid within that 8 years, Nigeria are not going to regret voting for President.
Okay, now let's talk about the PDP. They also had their convention. And the APC had their too. Is it safe to say that Nigeria has now returned back to two-party dominance, or some other political parties will still spring surprises come 2027?
Thank you. It depends on what they do. Now, what we really need is that Nigerian, this president, has given the power back to Nigerians. That is why me and you need to go and register in political party of our choice, so we can be able to make decisions. Now you are not talking about real election, or probably you are talking about consensus, and that consensus is not cheap, because a lot of people with different ideas. That is why when you see the phone being sold by 100 million, a lot of people bought it. When now President Ashola Ahmed Tinubu was contesting and had the primary, people came out, and who is going to get about 100 votes, 200 votes, and we saw people that cannot even get one vote. For you to know that people have their choices. Let everybody contribute to develop on Nigeria by being involved politically. We might not be going to meeting, we might not, but let us participate anytime we knew something that is going to benefit to us. APC has more than 10 million members right now. ADC that is making out. Yes, registered members. ADC that is making out cannot even gather up to 1.5 right now. They are less than 1 million. For you to know that people know what they are doing. And these are the people you are going to canvass at first before you canvass others. So they can be even a canvasser. Those party members are the canvassers for your political party. So we must be taking the bull by the horn right now. We have many political parties. All they need to do is to be serious. They don't just need to come from somewhere and hijack the structure from others. Those you are hijacking the structure from are not going to find it so.
So you are saying the ADC is merely a toothless bulldog?
Yeah, I am telling you, because when they hijack the party from some people, and those people are not going to be lying low. They are not going to be looking.
I don't think ADC is relevant in the scheme of things.
They are making that noise, and people are hearing them. It's only.
But it has not reflected on the registered members of the
exactly. Now that, because people are talking about ADC because they think PDP is going to extinction, and now it's been revived. That is why you see Natasha Akpoti, complying. You see some of the big wigs in our state going back to PDP as well, because they knew it's one of the most dominant political party who people are going to see.
One of the most vocal against Governor Seyi Makinde, and that is Prince Dino Odeyemi, was elected national treasurer of the party.
For you to know that Wike is calling everyone to be the contributor.
Is he secretly harvesting the loyalists of the Seyi Makinde faction?
No. When you see treasure and you don't try to, you don't appreciate them, others are going to take. Somebody like Yemi that worked seriously for Seyi Makinde was buried. It was not recognized. It was not given here, and he has to go somewhere else. So for Wike to have able to get to be the only one that is going to be involved in activities or everywhere, every angle, that is why he has to be recruiting people.
Just before we go, are we still going to see a wave of defection before 2027, especially with what the party looks like, into the PDP and into the APC?
Yeah, until May 2026, because that is when every political party members, every political party need to submit the register of their members, and what this the door is being closed, you don't have any opportunity.
Are we going to see some members of some political parties who left come back to the party because they feel like there is now a future, especially for the PDP? Like in Oyo State, Honorable Bolanle Sarumi Aliyu went to the ADC. Now she's back in the PDP. Are we going to see more of them moving back to the PDP, especially the Yes on Wike faction of the party?
Of course. Even I believe some people in there, some people that jumped to APC will definitely go back to PDP if they knew that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. For them, they will. But even when they have registered for a political party, they can still do their registration. That is why there was a time I argued. Our constitution is perfect. It might not be absolutely perfect, but it is good in some part. It is well entrenched in our constitution that you can only register as a member of a political party. If you register the member of two political parties, you can be
disqualified.
You can be jailed. It's not about disqualification. You can be jailed. So now people will do the resignation the way it's supposed to be done officially, and they can make that reference. See, you can see what happened on the floor of the House when Abaribi said he wanted to go to the ADC. They were saying that there is no problem in PDP and in ABGA, that he need to show
why he wants to leave.
Why he wants to leave.
But he mentioned that he was once expelled from that political party, and he's banking on that.
He's banking on that. That is not enough. Expelling doesn't mean that you can just leave that political party. That means once you are expelled, you are expelled. That means you have been whipped. They have used the party machinery that you are talking about being whipped, that you must leave the party. Leave the party with their logo and go and contest somewhere else.
So in 30 seconds, what should Nigerians be expecting from the new ESCOs of the APC?
I know the ESCOs are loyal to the political party, and the party is loyal to the people. The ESCO of the APC must make sure that they related what Nigerians needed to President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and they are going to liaise with National Assembly as well. Once they do that, that is how Nigeria is going to have the effect and reflection of good governance. And President Bola Ahmed has mentioned electricity. I'm still on that. I'm still hammering that, because the new electricity touch everyone's life, even when you are in rural area. You are going to like to charge your phone.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Mala Jaula, for joining us on the show this morning. That's been a wonderful session with you. Whether the statements made by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria seem like damage control for the Minister of Power, we'll still get to see that. Maybe it is time for a little bit of hand washing for the Minister of Power, so that it doesn't feel like he was the one in, of course, at the helms of affairs when everything turned black in the country. We'll still get to see that. Or maybe the permutation earlier is no longer working, because a sitting senator is to be crowned king, and someone else has to take that mantle of consensus. We'll also get to that part. As things unfold, we will know it's a defining moment for the party's politics in Nigeria, one that could shape not just electoral outcomes, but the quality of governance in the years to come. As the DPC settles into its new leadership and the PDP repositions itself after its convention, the real question remains, will Nigerians see meaningful change or more of the same political patterns? That's the conversation on the big story today. And thanks to Honorable Mala Jaulawi, the APC chieftain and the public affairs analyst, for sharing his insights on the show this morning. Let's go on a quick break. Up next is Trend Watch. Samson Balogun is my name.
welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. Of course, it's time for Trend Watch to talk about what is trending in the world of politics in Nigeria. And I'm back on set with Samson Balogun. And this morning, what we have is talking about Fayose. To think I spoke about him while I was taking headlines this morning. And I have this headline that saying, I'm still in PDP, but I support Tinubu. Fayose says party lacks credible challenger, reject anti-party labels. To me, I think it's a lot. When people do certain things and then they find a way to make it look like they're not doing that thing, and then that's why it is a problem in this country, because obviously if you're a member of the People's Democratic Party and then you've come out several times to say I'm supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but then that is not anti-party, so then what is it? Because you don't need a degree to understand certain things.
It's broader party.
It's a lot to understand, of course, to speak about, because I don't understand it. Even Wike and their friends, himself has come out several times to say, okay, I'm still in the PDP, but I'm going to be supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the next elections. That is anti-party. It doesn't matter whether he's working with the government, whether he's a minister. Let's not even talk about Fayose, who is not even a minister under this administration, for him to come out to say that I am still in PDP. And then one more thing is the fact that last year, when the November convention happened in Ibadan, that's with the Makinde faction, they expelled Fayose alongside Wike and a host of others, out of the party because of same anti-party, activities. But then, in a way, the court, favored the Wike faction, and that's why he's still a member of that party. So it's a problem when people do things that are wrong, and then they are looking for ways to rebrand it to make it look like, okay, what I'm doing is actually not wrong, because I work for the ruling party and I'm still a member of the PDP. So PDP in itself, I think there should be a total overhauling. Why should you come out several times to say I'm working for a party? This is what a lot of PDP members were doing in that party, and it speaks to the ego of PDP members. That's what they've been doing. Even in the last election, a lot of them worked against the party, but they stayed in the party, and then they went on national TV to say, okay, I actually work against my party. It's not done anyway, really.
You see, one major challenge the PDP has as a political party is that there is no clear leader in that party. Point to one person who is a leader of that political party as it stands. There is none. In the APC, you have quite a number of people who can say, yes, I am a leader of my political party. Yeah. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, before he became president, was named the national leader of the party. No portfolio whatsoever, but then he was recognized as a leader of that party. And there are so many other people like that who actually fill the same void as we speak, now that he's a president. But for the PDP, a lot of blocks, factions, here and there. Fayose is a block on his own. Nyesom Wike, another block. Seyi Makinde, another block. And so many other people in that kind of situation. People will do things with that kind of situation. People will do things with impunity. And nobody would really want to say anything or have that guts or the temerity to now say, oh, what you have done is wrong. Otherwise, they tear the party just like they did. Everybody takes their own piece of the party. And by the time they feel like, let's come together, they bring their own pieces and then they reassemble. But then the party that was torn apart, and then everybody bringing their pieces back, do you think it's going to make the same fabric again? I don't think so. That's why the PDP will never remain the same again. However, as it stands, you see, sometimes, if you look at that party too, as we speak, Fayose might be right a little bit for the fact that everyone left and they are coming back. And then when they are coming back, who is that person that can truly stand against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with the kind of structure he has and the kind of stature he has in the Nigerian politics as we speak? Who is that person in that party that will stand against him? It might be right that, yes, there is no person of that stature in the party, but it might be wrong to say they have no one to field. Okay? You can always field one person. The votes can now easily swing by this thing they do, opinion poll before the election. You know exactly where you are weak, where you are strong, and then you can know where to rebuild. But unfortunately, the PDP, they seem to have accepted defeat even before the election. And that is to some faction of the party. Seyi Makinde of Oyo State will not agree with that. He is still saying he will not admit to support a candidate of the opposing party in an election. But then, let's see how that ends. But let's feel the pulse of the people on social media and take some comments.
Right. So, OBJ Man 1000 is saying, why would you support your brother after destroying Nigeria by looting and stealing money every day? But one thing you people failed to realize was that one day all this thing they are doing, I don't want to mention that word on here now, you people are doing to this country will lay to rest, and it will be a pasted history. I think that person has been able to make a huge point, right?
Okay, I think that should be Abidin Recon. It says the most incompetitive party in Nigerian history, filled with, wow, that's big. Even the man who is the face of the party has two faces.
It's a lot. And then Bright Ology say people with funny usernames these days. It's saying this new PDP is just a bunch of dudes that are supporting Tinubu from another party. This type of style of opposition we're having in our political space is so funny.
All right, Bobby King says, chameleon, this is just political party. What?
So someone referred to the PDP as the left wing of the APC.
Well, you might want to say that when you have a leader of the party who is current minister of the FCT under the same administration, you have another one that is meant to be a leader from the Southwest, openly declaring for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he says he's a member of the party, and so many other people like that who have come together to say, look, this is what we want to do. However, there are still people in that party, though they belong to a different faction, who says we cannot easily surrender and say, oh, you have won. We have to put up a fight. And what kind of fight would that be? Well, it is until the election has come and gone that you will know how strong the PDP is. But the problem is, the party really has to find a common ground to settle all crises within.
And then, even if they are not sure whether they are going to win,
you should
they
put up
should
a fight.
see a candidate. And then,
it's a convenient place to leave the show this morning. So thank you for joining us on the show so far. Don't forget to link up with us on all socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter at Dominion Cast. Watch us live on our website at www.dominion.org.ng. And don't forget to join us again tomorrow for another interesting edition of Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Same host. Samson Balogun is my name. Keep being good out there. Keep being safe. Bye for now.
All right, my name is Oluwayemi Adelak, and today is Monday. Put on your fighting spirit and be intentional about your goals. Please stay safe. Bye for now.